the game, number one, last night, the challenge was, to finish and finish strong and, and finish the right way, go out on a winning note, try to accomplish some things that we talked about all week, as a team and some individual goals that were accomplished and some great stuff. And, just how proud, I was of that effort, the players and the coaches and the job that they did, not only preparing, for that game, but going and finding a way to win that football game. It speaks to, I think, our culture. I think it speaks to our environment. It speaks to the character of those football players, the leadership in that locker room. Everything that we've tried to build here over 5 years, the foundation. I don't think you end up, if it's not right, if the foundation ain't right and the culture ain't right, and you ain't got the right guys in that room, you don't have the character, the resolve, all the stuff we talk about all the time. You start a game, like that, and you're down 17-3 and all that stuff, and you don't come back and win a football game like that, and you don't win games in the National Football League unless you have the right guys and coaches and players and the right culture and right locker room. We know these guys are fighters. We know what's in their DNA. We know what they're made of. And we found out one more time last night exactly what we're all made of. And it was a defining moment, with 30 minutes left in that game, of how, we were going to, be remembered for the 2016 season, the 2016 journey. And that kind of, was a microcosm, I guess, of the entire season, if you will. But I talked to the team the night before the game, and I said, you don't remember days, you remember moments. And we have an opportunity to have another moment and another memory. And we've had a lot of great ones, over the years. And that one was, another great moment. Did we achieve our ultimate goal? No. Our goal has always been to win a championship, and that's not going to happen. We understand that 8-8 is not good enough, and that's on me. It's unacceptable, and it's a winning culture. It's a winning organization, and we didn't achieve the goal, and we all know that. Players and the coaches and myself, we all know that, and we know what the expectations are. And so that's disappointing, but like I always say, never discouraged. Mr. Irsay also always gives us everything that we need. He let us, go out a year ago and try to put together, a great staff, and we did that. He gave us, he always gives us all the resources, and I'm grateful to Jim for that. I know we've got the right staff. I know we got the right guys in the locker room. I told those guys today, this team won't be the same. It's the harsh reality of the National Football League. And don't worry about, your future. Don't worry about what's going to happen tomorrow. Don't worry about, if my contract's up and I'm a UFA or I'm a free agent on this or on that. I said, you can't do that. Just worry about today. Take some time, to recharge and hit the reset button. Do some evaluating. Obviously, we haven't, dove into that yet. You can kind of go through and, relive the season, in your own mind. But we'll turn every stone, and there'll be a time for us to go back and look at, every aspect of our program and see how we can get better. We have to be better. Again, we didn't reach our ultimate goal, but there was a lot of great things that happened. And again, I go back to the fight that's in this group and their will to win. They responded when we asked them to respond. They always did. Some devastating, heartbreaking losses and some great wins. And none greater than yesterday. And everybody can say, well, it was Jacksonville, this is that. It's a dang good football team. It's a National Football League. Games are hard to win in this league. I don't care what the records are. And so there was a bunch of positive things. And you think about, Robert Mathis and what he was able to do. And, I love when a plan, comes together. It's exactly how we drew it up, Bob. The way that whole thing unfolded yesterday. And, Rob getting number 123 and another strip sack and another fumble recovery. And, T.Y. Hilton, getting 95 yards and ends up leading the league receiving yards. And Frank Gore at 33 years old, rushing for over 1,000 yards. First guy to do it since 1984, since John Riggins did it. So there's a lot of great things that happened, this year. And, some quarterback play. And I thought Andrew was outstanding and fought through a bunch of adversity like we all did. And, there's stuff that he'd love to have back, but, he got better. His numbers were outstanding. And played a lot of guys. We played a ton of guys. We lost a lot of guys, and we had our injuries, and that's the National Football League, and we don't make any excuses. But it was good to see, a lot of guys come in, and a lot of young guys come in and play good football, and, step up when you've been called upon, and the development of that offensive line, and watching them get better through the course of the year and the way it started and the way we finished. That's a testament to, Coach Philbin, Coach Gilbert, and Coach Joffrey, and the job that they did, and the players, and Ryan Kelly and Joe Haig and Raven Clark and all those young guys that came in and played a ton of football. And no one ever talked about Ryan Kelly, and that's not a bad thing. It's not a good thing. I mean, the guy was consistent. Come in as a rookie and start every game like he did, and play through injury. Again, speaks volume to him and where we're headed, in the future with that group. Young guys on defense that had to play, and guys up and guys down, and Sean Melvins and Daryl Morris's, and Edwin Jackson, Antonio Morrison. I could go on and on and on about those guys, but they got a ton of experience, but some critical moments, it was some of the inexperience at different spots that get you. And we know what our formula is, for winning. And we started fast, and we scored early, and we put points on the board, and we got off the field on defense. And we rolled. We had some great outings. And we certainly know that we've got some things to work on and things to fix. You always do. And when you fall behind and you don't put points on the board early, and you can't get off the field, and give up, too many rush yards and big plays, and you don't block, you don't tackle, you don't do just the simple things in football well, then you end up giving away some games and losing some games that you probably shouldn't have. Special teams, I think Tom McMahon is the best special teams coordinator in the National Football League. Maurice Drayton, his assistant, came in here in year one and did a phenomenal job. And everybody can say, well, you had a punt block yesterday and almost cost you a game. Well, it didn't, but you don't want to have a punt block. They made a play we didn't execute very well, and we overcame it with a great stop on defense, and then a great 2-minute drill, by Andrew and the guys, and seeing Chester Rogers make a play, and Philip Dorsett make 2 plays, and Jack Doyle, making plays, and the quarterback play and the offensive line play come together to win that game. But I think our special teams were outstanding. And I think they ended up being 5th in the National Football League. I don't know when the last time that's happened, around here. But he does a phenomenal job, and those players played their tails off, and Pat had a phenomenal year again, and Vinny, how much, we talk about Vinny forever and ever and ever. And the year that he had, perfect on PATs and over 90%, I think, on his field goals. 44 years old, still kicking at a high level. So again, there's a lot of positives, a lot of great things that happened. Again, we didn't reach our ultimate goal, but we will keep moving forward. We'll keep grinding. We'll turn every stone, until we get there.
Have you met with Jim Irsay? Everybody wants to know about your future. It sounds like you expect to be back next year.
That's the plan, and I have not met with him yet.
Do you have any reason?
We do it every year, so when that happens, it'll happen.
Plan on sitting down?
That's the plan.
Do you have any reason to doubt that you will be the coach going forward?
No.
Is that just based on your confidence? Have you had indications of that of any kind, or it's just?
I just look at, I just look at things, and it's always half full, and I don't have any reason to believe, why wouldn't we?
Do you believe this team has more talent than an 8-8 record?
Great question, interesting question. We played a bunch of guys, and we played without, some of our guys, in some of the games. And so, look at, the guys that, that came in and, played for those guys, and the development of some of the young guys, who'd have thought, Jack Doyle would be Jack Doyle, today. Who'd have thought Eric Swope, never playing football, would come in and be who Eric Swope is and the plays that he's made. Those young offensive linemen, things like that. So, as you know, the roster is always going to change, and for whatever reason, that's the league. And so, again, we'll sit back, and we really haven't had a chance to evaluate everything at this point. So,
Chuck, you've always, last year you did it too, you've talked about how you guys are tough and show grit to win games, but when you guys needed to win games the past 2 years to get the playoffs, you guys haven't won those games.
yeah, that's a disappointing thing, Mike. You're exactly right, and I would not argue that. And you think about the games that we let slip away. Starting with the opener, you take the lead, 37 seconds to go. Was I aggressive enough, in that one? No. So I'd love to have that one back, so I agree with you wholeheartedly. And you can't give, that defense played really good yesterday, Greg, on the other side, for Jacksonville, but you get in those moments, and you get a little bit soft, or you get a little hesitant or whatever. National Football League people go down the field, put points on you, lose games that you probably shouldn't lose. So I'd love to have been more aggressive there. It should have been. Up 14 at Houston, with 3 minutes to go, you got to win that game. Credit them. They played better in those 3 minutes than we obviously did. You let them off the hook, and that's a tough one to swallow. But you find a way because of the toughness and the grit we talk about and the character of the team to get yourself back into a situation where you can take the division back and have a chance to win the division with a home game, and you let that slide, and you don't get that job done. So that's disappointing, and again, that's on me. I take full responsibility for all of this stuff, and I got to be better. I have to be better.
Like I said, it's 2 straight years this happened. Why do you feel like you guys can finally turn the corner? You've had 2 opportunities to do it and haven't done it, meaning opportunities to win a division late in the season?
Why we haven't?
But why do you feel like you guys can finally turn that corner and you've had 2 straight years to have a chance to do it but haven't done it?
Faith, belief. We got quarterback. I think it's the best quarterback in the league. We got a bunch of young offensive linemen that are on the come. A bunch of young defensive players that are going to get better, through time. And we're going to learn. We're going to grow. You always do. That's all you can do. Is you can look at it. You can be brutally honest with yourself. Players are going to do that as coach and face reality. And we'll do that. And as long as you're willing to listen and you're willing to grow and all those kind of things, you can turn every stone and try to figure out, okay, how, when we get in these situations, how do we turn a corner? How do we get over the hump? And every season's different, every game's different, every roster's different. We'll make no excuses, but they're all different, and they're always going to be that way. And we got to find a way, and I got to find a way, to make sure that when you get yourself in that position again, that you're on the other end of the other side of the win-loss column.
So along those lines, I think one thing a lot of people wonder about is the trajectory of the team. I mean, I don't have to remind you about the first 3 years you were here. But since 2014, the AFC Championship game last year was a weird year. 8-8 this year, 8-8 with your best player back, and I don't think people see that as progress. So, where do you see progress, and what do you make of that?
Yeah, if you look at, I think continuity is huge. And we live in, I call it the, Burger King, mentality. Burger King world, I want it my way, I want it now. It's just, that's reality, and sometimes you got to go through some stuff to get places. And, as long as you, keep working and you keep grinding and you keep, improving, again, every season's different. There's challenges that come with every one of them, and because we set the bar so high so early, those expectations are what they are. They were high when I got here, and I wouldn't change a thing. I have no regrets. Winning, making the playoffs and getting all the way to the AFC Championship, and having a disappointing loss there, and then to have back-to-back, 8-8 seasons. Again, I think every player would tell you, and I would tell you, and every coach would tell you that it's, it's not where you want to be. It's disappointing, and it's not acceptable, and we got to be better. And so, and we will, and we'll keep working, until we get there.
Chuck, a year ago, Chuck, you had said that, I remember you saying you're going to fight like hell for your job. You obviously have a contract now. As you get set to meet with Jim Irsay, do you have the mindset that you are going to have to state your case for your job and continuing for that continuity?
Yeah, I think, just like everybody else, wants answers, the fans, my kids, my wife, the owner. We're going to have a discussion, okay, on where we're at, what do we need to do, where we're going, and how we're going to get there. We understand where we want to go. And so, yeah, we'll have that conversation.
Chuck, do you feel like the team was constructed in a way, with all the free agent signings, especially on defense, those early years, that has set you guys back now? Guys that didn't pan out, that leaves your defense really young, and obviously it was not a strong suit this year.
Yeah, I think we talked, before the season that, we've got work to do, and where we're at is not, again, that falls on me, you guys know my background, and everybody knows my background, and you know, we've fallen short. And, you know, again, we won't make any excuses. We've got some really good football players. You know, we've lost some good football players, and we've had, you know, made our mistakes. It's a National Football League. You know, I've made you know, obviously a ton, my fair share. You know, and I can accept. I'm accountable, and I can accept that responsibility. And you know, so again, we'll look at everybody, evaluate everything that we've done, evaluate where we're at, and see how we can improve.
When's the last time you talked to Jim Irsay, Chuck?
After the game?
And there was no discussion at all, anything job related?
No, we were enjoying the moment. Just won a game.
Well, of course, in the big picture, you're thinking about, I mean, your season in it too, so you guys failed to live up to expectations, so there was no discussion about anything? I mean,
You guys ever watch what goes on in the locker room afterwards?
I have to say, I did not watch yesterday.
You missed it.
AC, you got a question? We'll wrap up after AC.
Coach, you got a fan base obviously disappointed right now, not going to the playoffs 2 years in a row. What's your message to them? What do you say to them?
Again, same thing that, you know, I told the team. You know, it's disappointing. Again, you can find a lot of positives. We're always going to look to the positives, and we're going to go to work. We'll take some time to hit the reset button, hit the recharge button, but we will grind, and we will work, and we'll roll up our sleeves, and we will do everything within our power that we possibly can to fight, you know, and get the division back, and win a division, you know, championship again, and get ourselves in position to make the playoffs and hopefully reach the mountaintop. You know, and until that happens, we're gonna fight, and we're gonna grind, and we're gonna do everything we possibly can to make sure we do that. Thanks, guys.